In this tutorial we're going to finalise a customer service and actually receive payment for the invoice and receive payment. So let's get started. We start by selecting the service. We can click on the service button. Now before we proceed, you need to ensure that in a service consists of a whole lot of service items, and these are all detailed on the actual job sheet, and the mechanic should have ticked those off during the service. So we just verify that, and if that's all okay, we can check them all by just clicking on check all service items. And before we can proceed, we have to save that to let the system know that the service has been completed. Now just one more item. We notice that on the job sheet the mechanics actually put an oil filter, so we better just quickly add that. So it's a Z503, so we're just selecting that by item code. We just type it and up it comes. So we'll just click on save. That will actually update the invoice and or the service sheet, and it will we've now see that items on there as well as the brake pads we ordered earlier. Okay, at this point we're ready to finalise it, so the service is on there and all the parts. So basically we click on the complete button and the system prompts us just a little reminder, please enter or update the vehicle kilometres. So we'll just shut that down, and we're basically now into the kilometres, so 59567. Okay, so that's done that. So if we try and go into complete now, we notice the system will allow us to finalise the service. So this is the completion form. At the very top is the date of next service. By default, under business settings in administration, you can preset the next service date. Our system's set up for 12 months. And next service kilometres is preset to 5,000, but this particular vehicle we know is fine, won't need it done till 10. So we just actually pop any notes there. In this case we've replaced the front, so we should check the rear at the next service. And finally there's a little button here. What you'd normally do if the customer's allowed you to send them notifications of completion, that will automatically be done when you actually save this. So the system by default prompts you with hi Jeff, your car has been service completed, your vehicle's ready to collect. So this is something you can change, and again that's available in notifications. There'll be messages. In this case we won't actually tick, it's a business and he's calling around this afternoon, but that would normally be checked. So once we click save, right, you'll notice the system's now come up and it will allow us to actually print the invoice. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and print it at this stage. You can print it in a detail mode, which shows all the individual service items which the customer would like to see, or alternatively if you uncheck that, or just print a summary. We'll actually check it because we want a detailed invoice, and there you go. So there's the actual invoice ready for the customer with the notes for the next service. You'll notice that basically the customer is prompted to next service on or before that date or that many kilometres. It's automatically been calculated for you. Right, so the final step is we'll just go back to bookings. We could print that, and we'll just go back to bookings. So when the customer arrives, what we normally do, we'll just click on invoices, and we'll see there's DG Consultancy for this particular date. There's the actual invoice. Again, we can click on that and reprint it if we like. Just show you a summary version of that invoice. But again, in this case we'll reprint it as a detail. So there's the invoice. Obviously click on print to print it out for the customer, and then we can discuss it. So the final thing is obviously receiving payment from the customer. Again, that's very easy. We just simply click on this, and by default the receipt type, the default receipt type set up as FPOS, but they may want to pay on Visa. It'll automatically prompt you with the balance of the invoice, and all you need to do there is just click on Pay. The invoice disappears from this because this is all current invoices, and the payment's been received. So that completes the actual finalisation of an invoice, printing the invoice and payment by the customer.